Morning everyone. Seems to be rush hour this morning. I'm doing another pre-breakfast ride. Oh dear. What a place to stop. Yeah, pre-breakfast today. But it's a rather significant ride. It's my last ever training ride. I can't believe it. Yeah, so this is it. The last training ride, 15k easy recovery. I can't remember where I've got to now, but I'm well into the 40s in terms of the number of rides I've done. And it's interesting to look back on all the different rides. I actually quite enjoy watching some of the videos back. I've had some interesting adventures. And feel really proud of what I've achieved so far. I'll try and find out how many kilometres I've done. But it's got to be 600 or 700, I would imagine, since I got the bike at the end of February. I've actually done over 1,000 kilometres now, and I think I've come a really long way actually. I can really feel it. So it's just a 15k today. I've done this loads of times. And I remember the first time I did this, and I felt pretty beat when I got back, and I really struggled up the hill at the end and all these things. And now, you know, I'm able to do an easy recovery ride, probably at the same pace as I could do at the beginning when I was really trying, and now I don't even feel like I'm trying. It's a bit sad in a way that this is coming to an end. I've really enjoyed doing this series and seeing different places and getting fitter and feeling healthier, losing some weight. It's all been really great. And the silly thing is, I spent the entire series saying how I don't really understand what the definition of easy, moderate and hard rides are. And when I actually got around to looking at the information sent to me by the British Heart Foundation, who are the main sponsors of the London to Brighton ride, there is actually a definition of those things in the booklet. And lucky for me, I pretty much got them right. Although it says for easy, like you shouldn't even really feel out of breath, and it should just be a flat ride. Then moderate, you should be trying but still have some capacity to spare, and then for hard you should just be going all out. I don't know whether I went all out for my hard, but I certainly tried. Oh, it's windy today. So the forecast for Sunday for event day so far is, I guess, similar to today, to be honest. Cloudy, moderate breeze, which I'm not especially happy about, but it'll keep me cool, I guess, at about 19 or 20 degrees. Which is alright. It might rain a bit on the day. I'll take a raincoat, I can live with that. My worst case scenario really was that it would be like 25 degrees plus or something, and I would just get so dehydrated and feel terrible. Maybe sunburn too, but it's not looking likely. So I think I've showed that pretty much wherever you live, you know, there's always going to be some good training routes you can do. Have a look at some of the resources online. Commute's good for planning routes. It's a good app and a good website. There's also the sustrans.org.uk if you're in the UK, which gives you all the details of national, or all the cycle routes nationwide I should say, even if a few of them aren't really up to scratch, but that's a different matter. So that's a good resource as well if you're looking to plan something. Otherwise, you know, if it's really not possible, either due to location, time of day, or just being really busy, there's always indoor trainers. Either you could go to the gym and jump on an exercise bike, or get a turbo trainer for home and just stick your bike on that. So I'm over halfway now on my fundraising target for Parkinson's UK. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who sponsored me. I really appreciate it. I think my original target was very ambitious, but even so, I'm enormously grateful to everybody. And it's not too late. There's no reason why you can't sponsor me retrospectively. That would still be appreciated. I'm probably not going to stop fundraising for them with this. I'll probably try and do some other things. I know later in the year there's another London to Brighton, so I might consider that. I said before, I'm thinking about doing the London to Paris. That'll probably be next year. So we'll see. There's still lots of opportunities to do some things to raise a bit more money for them, and I hope that eventually I'll make it to my £1,000 target. But yeah, again, to anybody who sponsored me, thank you so much. It's a really wonderful thing that you're doing. So before the event day, I'm going to take some time to properly give my bike a bit of a, well, certainly a clean, and some basic maintenance stuff as well. Doing the brakes, making sure everything's charged up, making sure the tyres are pumped up, all that kind of stuff. I'll do actually a full video on the preparation side of things. I realise I'll be too late for anybody who's doing the London to Brighton this year probably, but for anybody who's doing any kind of longish rides, events, sportives, charity rides or something, it'll be a useful guide hopefully. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So it pays to be polite. I think sometimes cyclists get a bit of a bad reputation, weaving in and out of traffic, going through red lights. Don't do that, guys. Well, that's the last thing we need. We need people on our side. We need support. We need backing from the public, from the government. We need more people on bikes, not less. So yeah, don't be a jerk. Be a considerate cyclist. You know, respect the rules of the road. Be polite to pedestrians. Give way to dogs. Definitely learned that. But yeah, if we can build a positive attitude towards cycling and cyclists, then hopefully we'll have more backing and better cycle infrastructure, potentially even cheaper bikes if people are buying and using them more. So it's all good. So recapping the last 12 weeks now. It's been brilliant, actually. It's been an absolute revelation. I can't tell you how happy I am that I signed myself up to doing the London to Brighton, that I bought myself a bike, and that I've been so far disciplined enough to do all the training rides. I'm really happy about it. I've lost now about 4.5 kilograms in weight, so feeling quite trim. Not that trim, but comparatively trim. I'm feeling a lot fitter. I'm getting a lot more sunlight, which is great for vitamin D, and working from home sometimes can get a bit depressing, so having this excuse to go out in the fresh air has been amazing. I've seen so many cool places, had quite a few adventures, eaten flies and fallen off a few times, discovered these multi-release cleats, which are almost certainly the best thing I think I've bought so far, and I can't emphasize that enough. If you've got SPD, Shimano SPD pedals and shoes, and you're not 100% confident, or you're thinking about getting them, get the multi-release cleats. It's just a no-brainer. They're not expensive. Just buy them, and they'll give you so much more confidence using these type of pedals. I can actually get out now and I'm not going to fall over, which is amazing. Yeah, it's been a great journey so far. I've really enjoyed it. I think the ride I feel proudest of is probably the 35k hard that I did, just because I was so surprised by my time, especially as a large chunk of that was along this really narrow canal towpath, going in and out fishermen, and I could barely go at walking pace. I think it's going here. So taking that into account, my time and my average, I was really pleased with. Worst ride so far? Hard to call, really. There are some that have been bad just because I just haven't felt in the mood, haven't felt energized, just felt tired, and then it's just rained the whole time. That's not been good. And then there was some sections of some rides that were bad, like that ridiculous section of National Cycle Route 21, that's barely even a footpath through a forest, just full of nettles, and that was awful. But it was an adventure. And the ones where I fell off, that was also less good, but again, it's it was that hill reps session. That was probably, on balance, that was probably my worst ride so far. It was nothing to do with the weather, although I did meet a really nice guy who was very encouraging about my training and everything, so that was cool. Oh, and then there was the other hill reps where I could only do 2 reps on that hill, and then I had to give up because my head was pounding so hard. That was also not so good. But they're all just learning, and I think I've got better as a result of those rides. I better understood what my capabilities were. I better understood pacing. I better understood managing my expectations. Yeah, so I learnt from that, so that's not a bad thing. So I've also learned that, you know, you don't feel great every ride. I've learned that you can feel really tired even if your fitness has improved a lot. I've learned that there's a sort of threshold that you need to overcome at the beginning of every ride to sort of convince your body that, you know, this is happening, you're not going to stop, and it better get itself prepared. And it takes a little while for it to prepare itself, at least in my case, for the heart to start working properly, for the lungs to start working more efficiently, to get into a rhythm. That can take some time. So I understand all that now, and that's brilliant, because it's stuff I didn't know before and stuff I wouldn't have been able to do before. And I'm really happy. I do have to keep this up though. It's going to be really easy to slip after this. I don't mean literally slip. I hope not anyway. No, I mean it's going to be really easy just not to do any rides, because I don't have that timetable. I don't have that thing to stick to, that thing I need to do. I won't have the accountability of putting the rides on YouTube. I might still do that. I might still record some of my rides if I'm doing something interesting. I'll stick it up and you guys can see what I've been up to. I'm going to try and do some more rides with other people. I think I've heard from many people that that's actually a really big motivator, to be riding with somebody else, and I can imagine it is. So whilst I like being able to do things in my own time and do my own pace, I also think it'd be really nice to do some rides with friends. I've got a friend who lives near Milton Keynes, and she says that there's really good places to ride around there, where you can literally not have to go on the road for miles and miles and miles. That sounds really good. And then my other friend who I'm doing the London to Brighton with, who lives down in Brighton, he's always up for doing some kind of ride, so probably do some meet halfway type things. And if I'm going to be doing London to Paris, I need to keep up my fitness, at least maintain this fitness or similar, over the summer and over the winter, so that I'm not starting from zero again. A little while ago I renamed the playlist for all these rides. It was just called London to Brighton Training, and I renamed it to Couch to London to Brighton, because I think that better reflects what I've done here, which is pretty much go from the couch to being able to cycle down to Brighton, and that's a fantastic feeling. So if that sounds familiar to you, that sort of couch state, then thank you. Yeah, if that couch state is a familiar feeling to you, then I urge you, watch some of the videos, get yourself signed up to something where you've got to train for it. Commit to something, essentially, and stick with it, because it's worth it. It really is, even if it's just a sense of achievement at the end. It's well worth it. So one thing I didn't do that I probably should have, and I think it would have been especially good in my case, because I'm often doing the same route again and again, to make it more interesting, and more importantly to make it more effective, I should have turned it into a sort of interval interval training. And what I mean by that is, rather than just doing the whole whole ride at a steady pace, either an easy, moderate or hard pace, I should make it more like interval training. So have sort of sprint sections where I'm going all out, and then recovery sections, and that would, even on the same route, just, you know, make it a bit more interesting, and from what I've heard, make it more effective in terms of fitness levels. Just a steady state isn't so good for that. So I think that's probably what I'll do from now on, if I'm not doing a longer, more adventurous ride. Say I'm doing this 15k, something like that. I'll do the same route, but I'll do sort of sprint sections. That's it, guys. That's it. That's my last training ride. I've honestly lost track of how many I've done. It's into the 40s anyway. Can't quite believe it's over. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like I said, it's been a real adventure. Highs and lows, but that's what makes an adventure. But definitely ending on a high, and hopefully even higher on the event day itself. So I'll put some stats up on the screen. They're not going to be very impressive, but then they're not supposed to be. It's an easy recovery ride. Just want to say massive thanks. Thank you so much for any sponsorship, or even if you haven't been able to sponsor me, just thanks for watching, to be honest. I hope that it inspires you to do something good, to get outdoors, to get fitter, maybe lose a bit of weight, and just enjoy yourself, really. Find something new that you like doing and enjoy it. So, for the last time, at least until the event day, thanks a lot for coming. I hope you enjoyed the ride, and I'll be back soon. Thanks, bye.